Hello everyone, I am Will, and welcome back to my playthrough of Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Last we left off, we went back to the Iron Keep, because we were able to get our fire defense up to a point where we could traverse the little burning patches? Or patches of burning rocks. Yeah, there was a few almost like little short side paths here and there in the Iron Keep. They had items or chests at the end of them, but the path to them were ablaze. Yeah. So basically, every time you walked on there, you took fire damage, and it's pretty damaging. Yeah. It's not just that it does a lot of damage, it also ticks really quickly. So you get multiple instances of damage pretty quickly. So it's one of those things, it's best to push off till we get our fire defense up to a certain point. And I felt that our fire defense was good enough, with enough health, or at our health levels, our fire defense was good enough to traverse those little fire patches to get those last items and chests in the Iron Keep. So we donned on our particular set of equipment, as well as the Dragon Tooth, Fire Quartz Ring, and Flash Sweat. I think we had the Penal Mask, the Witch's Robes, the Smelter Demon's Gauntlets, and Hexer Boots. I think that armor setup was at the current upgrade level that I had them at, was the best fire defense that we had. Coupled with the Flame Quartz Ring +1 and Flash Sweat, as well as Dragon Tooth, because Dragon Tooth provides a little bit of fire defense. Yeah, all of that combined gave us a fire defense of just under 800. So that's actually really good. In the current patch of Dark Souls 2, I think your resistances kind of cap out at like 890, I think it's like 890. Anything above that was just, it's ignored. Because in like the original, like earlier patches, you could get your defenses up to 1,000, and you would be effectively immune to the element. I think it only worked with the elements like magic, fire, lightning, dark. I think your physical had like a cap, but your elemental defenses, you could get them up to 1,000 and be practically immune to the element. You would be outright immune. But they eventually patched it that up to 890 of the corresponding resistance was the cap. I think it's like a 80% or 89% or something like that reduction in damage, so it's still really good. So we reached about 800, and that allowed us to traverse little fire patches to get those items. Yeah. The first one was a little jumping puzzle, or not really a jumping puzzle, but it required jumping, so I did miss jump once or twice. But I did eventually get to the end, which had a like 3 bonfire aesthetics and I think a soul item. Yeah, so got that. The next one was in the lava, or the area just before the Smelter Demon, all with the little cross bridge and furnace in the middle. Yeah, there's a set of stairs down that led to another fire patch with a chest on the end. And that chest had a Phoenix Parma. Pretty cool looking small shield. Very good fire negation. So if you find an enemy with fire, I would say a decent shield to use, because it's like 90% reduction. So it also has the special parry animation for small shields. So it has the bigger, quicker startup, bigger window. Yep. And then the last items were in the room with the entrance to Belfry's Soul. Yeah. The room with the lever that had the platform that goes down, up again, with the crystal wizard in there. Yeah, so that one had the last of the items there. The closest one was a fire seed, I think it was a fire seed. Yeah. And the last thing was a chest on a very long path, fire set path, so we had to use some of our radiant gems just to stave off the burning so we can stay alive. Yep. But in that chest was the Chaos Storm? I think it's Chaos Storm. Yeah, Chaos Storm. So pyromancy I probably won't be using, but we have it anyway. We need it in order to get the trophy for all the pyromancies. So, but and that was the last of the treasures in the Iron Keep. Yep. And then after that, we went to the Shaded Woods Crossroads. Yep. Where the 3 different paths changed into our proper, I would say, my adventuring equipment for that episode. Yeah, it was the Dark Hood, the Mad Warrior's armor, Grave Gauntlets, I think the Elan Night Leggings, I believe. The Dragon Slayer Crescent Axe. We used our Phoenix Parma. And I think we had a Priest Chime for lightning spells. Yep. At that point, we made our way to the Shrine of Winter. Yep. Through some Falconers, another Forest Guardian, I think they're called. The invisible guys you can't lock onto. And then we made our way to, and then we had to the Shrine of Storms. Not the Shrine of Storms, wrong game. The Shrine of Winter. Made it to the Shrine of Winter. The gates opened up because we did defeat the 4 old ones, or we embraced the 4 old ones' souls. And we had over 1 million soul memories, so either one will open the door. Yep. And through the door was the entrance to the Ivory King DLC, but we skipped through that. Led to a tunnel, into the rain, some soldiers, where we came to the entrance to Drangleic Castle. Yep. Where the Emerald Herald was waiting for us. And he talked about how we must go through the castle to find the end of our journey and all that stuff. There was a crystal lizard outside. I did miss him in the episode, but I did get him between episodes. He dropped, I think, 3 chunks and I think a slab. So, definitely a good crystal lizard to grab. So we talked to Emerald Herald, made our way to the gates, where we several statues come to life. Yeah, the 2 primal knights there on the bridge up. Yep. Went through them, and then we had to activate golems to open the door. Yep. Yeah. From that point forward, there are special golems that require absorbing souls to activate. And the soul thing is that when you defeat an enemy, there's this little like white cloud that goes towards you. That's the thing that has to be absorbed by the golem. So if you kill an enemy close enough to them, that little white cloud will go to the golem. It will be absorbed. Golem activates. It does its thing. Yeah. So there's 2 of those in front of the gate that had to be activated to open the door. And we did that. So we just kind of cleared out the swordsmen. Some of the CN Knights unpetrified themselves somehow, I think. I don't know how they do it, but they were statues, but now they weren't. So there's 2 swordsmen, 1 halberd guy. And to the right of the gate was a chest containing another fire seed and a great combustion. So, very good chest to grab. Don't miss it. Great combustion is just really powerful. And after that, we made our way into the castle, where we first encountered Chancellor Wellinger? I think he pronounced it Wellinger. Yeah. His little ghost, basically. Yeah. Oh, he's kind of muddled. His mind isn't quite know where he's at. Part of it's, asking us who he is, where's the king's at. He remembers, the giant invasions. He was all over the place in his memories. But at least from him, we kind of got the backstory to the queen and the king. Yeah, King Vendrick. The queen came to the kingdom, warned the king about the giants. Together they went to the giants, defeated them. The king brought back something that allowed him to create the golems. And with the golems, he built the kingdom. Yep. Yeah, he built the very castle, I think he said. So there's a story going on. Yep, there's a story going on. Definitely learn more about that as we go through the castle and beyond. But and then he mentioned about the peace after the war felt like a deep dark. So deep like the dark, I think was what he said. So there's some stuff going on. So we talked to him. I think we did by He sells flambers, lucerne, some consumables, the Great Magic Barrier, I think the Ash Knuckle Ring, or not the Ash Knuckle Ring, the Gold Knuckle Ring, the one that prevents, reduces weapon durability damage. Yeah, so we bought the ring, bought the Great Magic Barrier. I did go back and bought his other stuff between episodes. I think we bought a bunch of lightning arrows. Yep. If I remember right, lightning arrows don't have a drop off, or if they do, it's much further than the other bows. I mean, the other arrows. So I got a bunch of those. So we talked to him. Continued forward through the castle. Some more unpetrifying CN knights. One of them guarding us the blind bone dust. And a door on the way down, which led us to a King's Gate, which you can't open just yet, which will eventually lead to the final arena. Another door that had a bonfire. I think at that point, the last thing I did was I stepped into the next big room, and I activated the first set of doors on the left and right. Yeah, the first door is the progression, so that'll lead us deeper into the castle. But the first door on the left reveals a ruined sentinel. Yep, a respawning ruined sentinel. So if you want the ruined sentinel armor, you have to get it from them. Which is what I did. I got the armor, so. And that was it. Yep, I think that was the last thing we did. Yep. So we gathered the last items in the Iron Keep and pressed forward into Drangleic Castle. Yep. Yeah. Starting to get into the end game. I love it. It's going to get a lot. I don't know. It's definitely not quite sure how I feel about it. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it, but I'm also not looking forward to it at the same time because there's some BS coming up. Yeah, some good people say bad. Well, most of the negative stuff about Dark Souls 2 is going to come at this point. Yeah, you'll start seeing some of it, especially when we get to like the Shrine of Amana and all that stuff. You'll see it. But yeah, so on one hand, I'm looking forward to it. The other hand, I'm not. But it's fine. It's fine. So now we're in Drangleic Castle. And between episodes, I went and I farmed some equipment. Yep, I got the Ruined Sentinel armor from that one we revealed in that one big room. I went and got the rest of the CN armor, as well as the CN halberd, which I have right here. I also got the Mastodon armor, the one that's not rusted. Yep. The two Mastodons we met on the bridge, they dropped the pristine version of it. Yeah. See, Mastodon helm, rusted helm. Yeah, we got the rusted helm from the one in Doors of Pharos, but the ones outside Drangleic give the pristine. Yep. So, this one has additional. The king restored a forgotten, long-lost art to create these inhuman abominations. Cool. King restored a forgotten, long-lost arts. Create these inhuman abominations. I wonder what that art is talking about. Unless it was something that has to do with Seath. Because Seath created some monstrosities, that's for sure. But I wonder if that's tied with him. It could be. But, so, I went between episodes again. I just gathered equipment. Ruined Sentinel armor, CN armor, Mastodon armor, CN halberd. And with all the souls I got, I went to Chancellor Wellinger, bought out his consumables, upgraded this CN halberd to +9, upgraded the white robe here to +6, upgraded because I am wearing the rune leggings and gauntlets here, so I upgraded those to +2 each. Yeah, looks pretty cool. I like to say that. And I also upgraded my Pyromancy Flame to max. It is at +10, so it's maxed out. So any additional fire seeds we get from this point on would just be redundant. We don't need them. Although we could use them to upgrade the the black pyromancy flame, I think is what it's called, that we picked up in the gutter. I think we can use it on that, but I have no interest in using it. So it only works if you're really, really hollow, and I don't plan on being that hollow. So yeah. And I think with the spare souls I had, I leveled up. I think I put 4 points into endurance. Yeah, 4 points into endurance. Starting to get some endurance going on. Just have some stamina to swing my weapons around. And I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. Yep, that's all I did between episodes. Just farm some items, load up a bit, upgrade, the usual. And today, we're going to press forward into Drangleic Castle. But before that, we have to talk to Tichigrin here. Yeah, because once you make it to Drangleic Castle, like at least get to the bonfire. Maybe opening the door triggers it, but getting to at least the first bonfire will definitely trigger it. So at this point, Tichigrin will now have another armor set to sell, and he will now no longer be useful. Yeah. So we're going to buy the armor set Tichigrin now has, and then we're going to kill him. Yep. I know, but he has a pretty cool looking chest piece, and I want it, so sorry, Tichigrin. Yep. Yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is deal with Tichigrin here, and then we'll go back to Drangleic Castle. And press forward. Not sure how far it gets. That one big room right next to the bonfire has several doors we're going to open, as well as a drop down or two. Yeah, I think one of the drop downs for sure will lead us to Dark Diver Grendel. Yep, his final spot's in Drangleic Castle in that room somewhere. It's a drop down. So yeah, and that point, it'll be our third encounter, and he'll actually allow us to join the Covenant and do the little Abyss treks. Yeah, and do the Abyss. So, although I won't be doing that this episode, I might do it once we finish up the castle. I'll have to think about it. So at least then it'll open up for us, and we'll do it eventually. And then, depending on how far we go, we might press further into the castle. Yeah, that one room's going to take a bit, because there's a good number of enemies in there, and the Forlorn can invade, which reminds me, the Forlorn did invade between episodes while I was farming for equipment. He invaded outside the castle gates, and it was a scythe wielding. He wielded a scythe. And the scythe is cool looking. It is this. This is cool. I love this. The only issue is, yeah, since we already defeated 4 Forlorn, we needed to kill the one with the scythe in order to buy the scythe from Strayed. So he evaded while I was farming items, killed him, went to Strayed, bought the scythe. And here we go. This thing is awesome looking. The only downside is that the Forlorn weapons require you to be completely hollow to get the scaling bonuses. Because right now we're not hollowed at all, and we have negative in numbers. So, yeah. In order to get the maximum out of this, you have to be fully hollowed. Yeah, so, which is sad, because it's really cool looking, and I want to use it. Because the R2 on this thing is just... yeah. Yeah, it is cool as hell, but requires us to be hollow, and I'm sad. Yeah. But he did invade between episodes, and I forgot to mention that. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. The big room. Yeah, that big room is probably going to take a while, just because there's a number of enemies in there, and the drop downs, and the Forlorn can invade, and it's just... blah. But I will do that room, and press forward a bit. So that's the plan. Deal with Tichigrin, press on to the castle. And our equipment for today, again, at least starting out, this might change depending on situation, but I have my CN halberd to +9, Normally I wouldn't be using a halberd, but this first R1 on this thing is this thrust, like a spear. And hopefully that'll be enough to stagger the smaller enemies to allow us to do the follow-up. So hopefully that works out. But yeah, again, the only reason I'm using it is because of that thrust. So it is the +9. It has very good dex scaling. Yep. So at +9 is a base of 113. So we're with the scaling bonus and the Ring of Blades, 420. Blazing. Royal Kite Shield. Wasn't quite sure what shield to use, but I just ended up with the Kite Shield again. Just 100 physical defense. Magic Witch Tree Branch, because we'll be using some sorceries, because we're going to need Cast Light, because it is dark in some places. And Magic Weapon is good. I have a Southern Ritual Band +1 for more attunement slots, so we can have more spells. Faster cast speed. Longer duration, so Cast Light and Magic Weapon will last longer. Ring of Blades, because again we're having a pure physical weapon, so it gets us the most out of it. Otherwise, this might change the Stone Ring depending on the situation. But in our armor set, I have my Thief Mask, the white mage robes here, as well as the Ruined Gauntlets and leggings. Yep. I really do like how these look, especially with this robe. I could change this out. I mean, not too bad, but we'll stick with the white robes. Yep. I should probably put that on. Could always use some stamina regen. Yep. And here are my stats. Again, I put 4 points into endurance. Everything else should be the same. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. Yep. And I have 3 copies of Great Heavy Soul Arrow, 2 of Magic Weapon, Cast Light, and Fall Control. You never know where we're going to drop down. Alright. I think I rambled on long enough. Shall we go deal with our Titchy Grin, buddy? Alright, what's up, Titchy Grin?
I've no use for you anymore. Trot along home,
Well, Titchy Grin, we have one last thing from you, and then we're going to have to deal with you.
Not that I really care, but let's see some results next time.
Don't worry.
Whatever you need, I've got.
Alright. So, once you enter Drangleic Castle, the Executioner armor set becomes available. And that's the armor set of the Executioner on the back of the chariot. Which is surprising. You would think it would be available from the get-go, because you have to defeat the Executioner to get up here, but I don't know. I guess not. But yeah, Black Helm worn by the Executioner of the Undead Purgatory. These spikes are designed to invoke fear. The Executioner mercilessly puts down countless undead. How could he know that it was never his own will, but that of the chariot horse? I don't know. That's a good thing. Let's go ahead and buy it all. I should have enough. Yeah, just enough. Okay. So I already bought that. Bought out all this stuff. I don't care for any of this. Hexing Urn, maybe, but these, I don't really care for it. And I bought all the spells, so we got everything we want out of them.
Have you heard of the Blue Phantom? Doesn't matter.
Alright.
Come back soon.
Alright, Titchy Grin. We got everything we want out of him. Now we have to get his armor set. I mean, you could get his armor set another way, but that requires getting you rank 3 of the Brotherhood of Blood Covenant, which means you have to invade 1,000 players and beat them 1,000 times. I kid you not. It is not practical this day and age, just because there's probably not as many players online as some of the other Souls games, but the only alternative at this point is to kill Titchy Grin, and Valencia will sell his armor set. So, Titchy Grin, it's time for blood for the blood gods.
Try and spill my blood. Whose blood will spill first?
That came out pretty quick. Yeah, he's got a chime. Digi grin. Yep. You kill him, he drops his hood. Nar Alma hood. Yep. Where you at, hood? Should be probably missing it. Yeah, right here. Okay. Went right over it. Hood worn by servants of Nar Alma, god of blood. Increased souls acquired for each kill belong to Tichigrin. Those who profess faith in the god will have rejected all that is this world and vow to travel a path stained with blood. And so increases the number of souls acquired, probably the same amount as the Sildora hood, like 2-ish%, maybe 5, but yeah. Alright, let's put our mask back on. Alright, so we're gonna go to Majula. We'll talk to Melentia just to confirm that we can get the items from her, his armor set. We'll have to buy it, but we can do that pretty easily between episodes. So any NPC you kill, Melentia will have their armor set and some of their weapons. Maybe not everything, but she'll definitely have their armors. So
I knew you'd be back.
goodbye. Yep, here it is. Scythe of Nir Alma. This is the Scythe of Tichigrin. Scythe used by Tichigrin and by believers in God of Blood. Normally used only in ceremonies, imbued with the power of dark. This is no place for talk of such things, however. Yeah, and here's Pate's shield, because we killed Pate. His equipment will be here. You can buy a second copy if you want, but... So we're definitely going to come back for this. An armor set. Here's Pate's set. And robe of Nir Alma. Each kill passed in with blood. Definitely gonna get that because it is really cool looking, so we'll be back for that. I'm not sure what his arms and legs are, unless there's a part of a different set. I'll have to look it up. But
Lonely times these are.
yeah, unfortunately. Yep. And another thing is that once you reach Drangleic Castle, Shalquar's inventories become unlimited. So if we run over to Shalquar, all our stuff is going to be available in infinite quantities.
Well, why not and meet the king?
Oops.
Long ago, he smelled just like you. Not so much anymore, though. He's quite rancid by now. But we cats love that. It's an acquired taste.
I apologize about that. I did not realize you had that dialogue at this point. But
Once, people tried to round up the undead and hide them away from the world. They thought that imprisoning the undead would solve the problem. They created a towering bastille to contain them, but in the end, it did no good. The lost sinner lives deep within the bastille. The fool, trying to light the first flame.
well, there's your connection between Lost Sinner and Witch Isolith. Although she didn't try to light the first flame, she tried to recreate the first flame, but semantics, I guess. But again, I'm sorry about the dialogue. I didn't realize she had that. The new stuff. Guess you get to that when you get to Drangleic Castle. She basically talked about how we smelled like King Vendrick, and he no longer smells like us, and all that stuff. Which means we are on the path of a true monarch, which means I guess monarchs smell nice? Thanks? Yeah, but go over here to items. You can buy them infinite amounts. So we don't have to worry about Homer Bones anymore, or Lloyd's Talismans, or all that stuff.
Well, you've grown quite a bit, haven't you? Your scent is lovelier than it's ever been. Why not trot along to the castle and meet the king? Long ago, he smelled just like you. Not so much anymore, though. He's quite rancid by now. But we cats love that. It's an acquired taste.
Luckily, she was able to speak to us again, so that's a good thing. So, whew. All right. Thank you, lovely Shaquar. All right. So now her inventory is infinite at this point. Chloe's inventory will update once we go through the castle. I think we have to go beat the Looking Glass Knight, I believe, is when her inventory becomes updated. But, yeah. Alright, so that's enough of that. Let's go back to the castle. Yep. So we dealt with Chichi Grin, got the execution armor, his little chest pieces available from Melentia, as well as his weapon. So, alright. Back to Drangleic. Yep. Yes. Here we go. This stupid room. I hate this room. Especially once you open up all the doors. It's just, ugh. Anyway, we have to clear them out. There's a bunch of stone soldiers. There's a bunch of ruined sentinels. Some good treasures. And a drop down to Grandal for sure. Alright. First things first, we're going to take care of this ruined sentinel. There he is. Luckily, we can fight him without triggering the stone soldiers. Stamina back. Thank you. I think there's like 3 more in here behind these doors. But again, that's the only door you really need to open up. That's the path forward. But the rest of these are going to have treasures or a drop down or a ruined sentinel. So we're going to activate the ones on the left. Those 2 golems in the back will have torches that will light up the room. And then we'll go with these 2. Alright. That's what I like to see. All right. Activate these guys one at a time. There we go. Opens up that door, which has another ruined sentinel and an item. Come on, ruined sentinel. They just have a really wide swinging arc. Thank you. Alright. Okay, you don't activate. We're just going to play it safe. Stick to one of the ledges so you don't accidentally drop down. Ferrous Lockstone. Not necessary, but yeah, we'll take it. So none of you guys open up, which means we need to draw a guy from the center. You should go and activate the golem. There we go. So he'll light his torch. There we go. You should open up the door. Alright. Hey, you have a summon sign. Ashful Ray. Nice. He's a shade. He can help out with his room, but we don't really need to. Alright. So these guys provide a decent amount of light in this room. And apparently they take our souls as well. I thought it was just the white smoke thing. No, they take the actual souls as well. So, oh well. They actually remind me of Titanite demons. The little face there, that little almost like blank thing, or I'm not quite sure how you describe it. It's like just like a little flat slab with the text on it. It definitely reminds me of a Titanite demon from Dark Souls. Maybe the god of smithing has this little technique, maybe, because they are in Dark Souls 1. The Titanite demons are pieces of a slab. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite remember how they described them, but they're like slabs that were infused with some sort of power that brought them to life. Yada yada yada. Yeah, so maybe it's something like that is what activating these golems. Right, so I need you over here. Let's go. Go. I'm going to bet it's another Rune Sentinel. Hey, look at that. Get our stamina back. Stay over here. I don't want to activate any other enemies. I got clipped. There we go. Alright. Yeah, this is a little breakable floor. You can kind of tell by how they look. So we'll come back to this one in a moment. That floor is breakable. Right. Who's waking up? You are? That's fine. Right. What's behind door number 4 or 5? Another Ruined Sentinel. Are they in behind all the doors? I'm just going to assume they're behind all the doors. We've got the jukes. Ah. No, you can't backstab them, unfortunately. So there's a rune center behind this door, huh? You trapped. I don't think you're trapped. Yeah. Royal Soldier Ring +1. Royal Soldier Ring increases our equip load, so the +1 increases it more. Alright. Yeah, there's no fake walls in here, not that I remember. Alright, who's opening up? You are? There we go. Another Rune Sentinel. Alright, I'm gonna... Yeah, they're behind all the doors. Alright. That makes this room very, very dangerous. I know stamina. Okay, so there's a room sentinel behind all these doors. Okay. Sure, why not? So let's add another chest. I assume you're not. I'm assuming you're trapped. Okay, you're not. Mastodon Greatsword. Greatsword of the Mastodons, eh? Ooh, definitely a strength weapon. Definitely a strength weapon. Yeah, Greatsword of the Primal Knights that defend Drangleic Castle. The brutish and mighty Primal Knights wield the sword like a featherlight twig, but to the ordinary warrior is a chore to even hold up, owing to its great weight. Terrible experiments are said to have taken place in a hidden manor in Drangleic. The mastermind presiding over the deeds was known as Lord Aldea. Yes, this is definitely a strength weapon. Yeah. I guess it's the same moveset as the Bastard Sword? I don't have the Bastard Sword, but... Yep. You can get another one of these. I think the spiders in Brightstone Cove are the ones that drop these. Even though it says Primal Knights, the Primal Knights I think only drop their halberds, not the Greatsword. But I know the spiders in Brightstone Cove will, or they can. So, 16 units. Oof, that is heavy. Alright, let's use repair powder. Okay, better. Alright. So all that's left is that door, which is already open, which means we have a drop down to do. I think it's over here. No, it's this one. We have a drop down. This should lead us down to Dark Diver Grendel, but first it'll lead us to a Darkstalker. Yeah. There is a bonfire down here, so don't worry about not being able to get back up. But there is a Darkstalker, and I don't want to have to fight these sentinels again. He's right behind us. Here we have the game's brand armor, the Faram armor. And you'll see why it's the brand armor. Yep. Helmet worn by the Foresian Lion Knights. The mighty Lion Knights worshippers of the god of war Faram, were heavy armor and were feared for their nimble two-handed swordplay. But their legacy was cut short with the fall of Ferosa. and armor. This is the armor the guy is wearing on the box cover, at least of the original Dark Souls 2. Out of the first sin, it's a Forlorn, but yeah. Yep. Yeah, the chest piece is really cool. The gauntlets are actually pretty nice. Although simple, they're, just simplicity has its strength. And you can't quite see it, but the helmet depicts I'm guessing a knight fighting a dragon? Dragon slaying's the knighthood's highest calling, as Goth would say. Yeah, I just really like this. But not today. Today we're sticking with our battle mage. Alright. But I will wear that armor because I really do like that armor set. I might change out the pants, but everything else I'll have. And through here is Dark Diver Grandal. This is his third location, and at this point he'll allow us to traverse the abyss. Dark Diver?
We meet again, young undead. You have the look of a true seeker. I am Dark Diver Grandal, seeker of dark, giver of dark. If you seek true dark, I will grant it to you, as much as you desire. Well then, is dark what you wish for?
Join the Pilgrims of the Dark? Why, yes, we will. We get the Abyssal Seal. Enter.
There you are. You are now a pilgrim of dark. The dark chasm beckons you. Those drawn to the dark are destined to seek it.
Those drawn to the dark are destined to seek it, huh?
Finally, you are here, young undead. Now, open the depths of darkness. Young undead, the dark awaits you.
Alright. So we can give them... We can buy items, enter covenant, we already did. Give human effigy here is just for him to open up the portal. Yeah, I think it opens up the first time for you for free, but every subsequent time you want to go in there, you need to give an effigy. Until you reach rank 3, I think. Once you reach rank 3, you can enter the chasm anytime you want. But you have to give him an effigy to at least open up the portal, at least once. I think you might have to give it again every time you attempt it, but... I could be wrong, but probably am. Right, but we'll talk.
The embrace of the dark is gentle. Let it absorb your sorrows forever.
Forever, ever? Forever, ever. Yep.
The embrace.
Alright, I think that's all I have to say for now. Let's see what he has. He sells 3 effigies and 10 aesthetics. Huh. Alright, effigies. Yeah, sure, we'll buy those. Let's see what your spells are first. Cast Light. Definitely worth it. Another Dark Orb, Dark Hail, Dark Storm, and Profound Still. A hex created by an ostracized cleric. Blocks the spells of nearby casters. This hex, born of jealousy and humiliation, is a locus of dark thoughts, the very things that reflect the true essence of life itself. So basically, you create a null zone for casters, except yourself. From what I know, is that you are unaffected by the spell, but everyone else around you is. So it's definitely going to be useful in some spaces, especially in the undead crypt. Not so much in Shrine of Amana, just because of the sheer distance you'll get shot at by spells, but in confined spaces, definitely better. Definitely going to buy it. We need Fortitude Faith. We can reach that with the ring, but we'll leave it for now. We'll come back. I'll probably grab it between episodes. All right.
May the dark shine your way.
And for him, once you reach rank 3 of the the Pilgrim of Dark Covenant, if you talk to him, he'll give you his chime, and his chime is the best in the game for lightning spells. So we definitely want to do it as quick as we can. So I'll probably do that next episode. Just go through all the chasms. Yeah, but at the end, in order to reach rank 3, we have to beat Dark Lurker. Yeah. Dark Lurker boss is a pain. But with the Profound Still, he shouldn't be too bad, because he does cast spells, and I think it works against him. So that should help. I hope, anyway. But I never actually used it, so I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find out together. Alright, Dark Diver. Welcome back. Alright. I hope Profound Still works against the Dark Lurker, otherwise we'll have issues. In fact, we want this bonfire, or this encounter with Grendel, to be our final traversal through the chasm. Just because, again, the last traversal will lead you to the Dark Lurker boss fight, and since this bonfire is really close to this entrance point, you want this one to be the last one, just for that. So we'll come back. All right. To the King's Gates. Right. So now we'll press forward into the castle proper. Might have to deal with one more Ruined Sentinel, but it shouldn't be too bad. As well as the stone soldiers, but so we'll go out here. Well, that was the Grendel's little chasm thing. I forgot to check out the seal. Alright. Thank you. Before I press on, I'm going to check out the ring. It gave us the Abyssal Seal. Covenant Ring for Pilgrims of Dark. Yep. Increases the attack strength of hexes, but casting them reduces HP. Yep. I think it boosts the spell damage by like 5%. I believe it's like 30 or so HP. It's a flat amount of HP. So it's okay. I mean, I don't like consuming health for spells, but what is dark? Perhaps we already know. We fear dark, yet find solace in it. Those who join this covenant can see the hidden dark chasm. Perhaps we already know. We fear dark, yet find solace in it. Yep. So, alright. So the seal boosts hexes at the cost of HP. Excuse me, sir. Right, So let's trek forth. Don't worry, these guys don't come to life. It's just the ones in the room. I thought you came to life. But chest, not a mimic. I don't think it's trapped. Alright. We have 15 dark arrows. Sure. Frozen flower. That is what we need in order to access the Crown of the Ivory King DLC. So if we go back to the Shrine of Winter, we can now press forward. Yep. A stone ornament shaped like a flower, cold enough to dampen the greatest heat. Opens the door to a new path from the Shrine of Winter, found on the road to the Great Castle. Yep. Thank you. Oh yes, these guys, yeah. These guys suck. Hero, 3-year-old Radiance, Monastery Charm, we'll take it. Yeah, this is a prelude of enemies to come. If you see these guys with heads on them, just be careful. Press up, press up, press up. Ironclad, Rune Sentinels. See a bit outside. Can't quite make out anything noticeable. Is there any? Okay, I don't think so, but. Right. Enemies just unpetrified. I think they're behind us. I can hear them to the right. No, they're above us. Never mind. Up the stairs. Up there. Yep. Okay. Hey. Oh, he's shooting corrosive bolts, huh? No, there's a fake wall, but I think it's a bit further up. But we'll go deal with that here in a moment. Let's just get that crossbow guy. I don't think we actually can get to him just yet. Alright. Alright then, I guess, yeah, so that's all corrosive acid, so again we have to... Oh, if I take this off, I'll lose my spells. Whatever. I don't have Sanctus Spear either. Oh well. Alright, there are enemies in that little corrosive acid pool, so just... There's also items, so we're going to try to go for the items, try to avoid the enemies. Hopefully it works out, but... I lost my cast light and fall control, which is okay. I mean... Mushroom? It does no damage, but it will degrade durability. Yeah. Don't quite know where they come from, but there's a chest. But we'll get out of that. If we slap on a weapon. That's really hectic. These things spew at you, so like There is a way to get to him, but... Here... Chest? Those urns. Is it worth it? Probably not, but... It wouldn't be so bad if I had the Sanctus Spear, but I forgot I left it in the box, so... Oh well. Ow. Ow. Alright. So now we're done with that little area. Not much in there, but... Again, gotta collect all the things. And since we can't use our spells anymore, might as well just not use the Southern Ritual Band. Lingering, and might as well. Alright. Cool. There we go. So now let's press forward. I think there is another invader. I think it's Nameless Usurper, I think is what she's called. Yeah, she'll invade around here. I don't remember exactly where, but we're close by. So. Nothing but death. You can actually see the way we came in. Ah, yes, this room. This chest is trapped, but not quite the way you think. Alright. If we're lucky, we'll avoid damage, but... Yeah. Open the chest, these guys shoot. If you don't move, you're not going to get hit, but... Twinkly Titanite, Large Soul, the Brave Warrior. Alright. I don't think they'll shoot again. I think they're done. Okay, no. Never mind. So I guess now this room's now trapped. Yeah, okay. Never mind, yep. Now we activated the masks, and now we go to this room, we're going to have to deal with the arrows, and yuck. But, hopefully we don't have to go through this room again. Now we're above corrosive area. I think the chest is right below us. There's an item over there. I think there's a secret wall over there. Ah, yes, here we go. Nameless Usurper should invade here, just past that door. But this painting is Nishandra. That is Nishandra, yep. And if we go near the painting, yeah, it just kind of tells you that Nishandra is not who she seems. Yeah. But that is the queen, that is Nishandra, and she is cursed. At least the painting is cursed, but it's kind of like a little environmental thing that tells you that maybe she's not quite what she seems. So just avoid the painting if you can, unless you have the witch veil on. Ooh, didn't mean to get both of you. Not bad. Go. Come on, buddy. No, they cannot be cursed. They are unaffected by it. Thought that would have staggered you, but alright. I thought that second hit would stagger him, but I guess it didn't. Oh well. Definitely clear out the enemies if you can. Fire great arrows, destructive great arrows, 3 torches, a petrified dragon bone, and a cursed painting. And through here, we should get invaded by a nameless usurper. Yep. She'll actually spawn like right here. All right. So once we confirm her spawn, she'll will. All right, let's go. I think she'll spawn right about here. There we go. Run back into the room so we have some space. Now you can kind of guess who it is based on her outfit. She has the saint set on. And a bandit knife. End this. Dark Spirit, Nameless Usurper. And an effigy. Yep. That won't be the last time we'll meet that Nameless Usurper. We'll actually meet them again in the Undead Crypt. Yep. And possibly Shrine of Amana, but definitely in the Undead Crypt. So we got Bowman, so does Norum. The End Knight behind us. Thank you. So many people, so many. Alright, so... Yep, there's a ladder right here. Yep, come up the stairs, ladder to the left. Definitely gonna take this ladder. This will bring us down here. One of you guys should unpetrify. There's an item over here. Brave warrior. And very important fake wall because it has a bonfire. Yep. So hopefully there's any invisible hollows. Yep. Bonfire. Yep. Definitely a good bonfire to have because it's quite a ways from the last one. Yep. Take this ladder to get to this chest. This is where that one crossbow guy was at, above the little acid pit. Alright. Don't think you're trapped. Hunter's black bow and some iron arrows. Yep. Hunter's black bow, huh? Wonder who that could be. Scaling dexterity, 60 range. Black bow designed for long distances. Difficult to handle at first, requiring some amount of practice to master. The hunting goddess Evlana was no goddess at all, but rather a brave and highly skilled bow huntress. Long after her demise, the passing of lore transformed her into a deity. Yep. It's basically the Ferris, the black bow of Ferris from Dark Souls 1. It's this bow. It's actually a pretty quick draw speed. Oh, me like a lot. A nice 69. Nice. 69 out of the box with 30 dexterity. Whee! We can go for that. Oh yeah. If it just takes regular Titanite, we'll definitely go for it. Do we need a rest? Not really, because I think the next fight is a straightforward fight. It's not really easy, but it is straightforward. It's for them. So we'll press forward. See the old knight statues. There she is. Queen Nissandra.
You have fought admirably on your journey, cursed undead. I am Nishandra, Queen of Drangleic. A true monarch carries the weight of their souls. The last king of this land, King Vendrick, as he was called. He found the strength to rule his people, and when the undead were born, cursed, he found more strength to face them. But in the end, he never took the true throne.
Yep, he had the strength to rule, and when the curse sprung up, he had the strength to fight that too. But he never took the true throne, huh? So what's the true throne?
Visit Vendrick.
Visit Vendrick.
We have no need for two rulers.
So basically, you want me to go down and kill him? Is that what you're implying? I guess so. Huh? Alright, well, I think if we put on the Ring of Whispers, we should hear something. And then come back. Okay, maybe not. I thought there was something with that, but I think I remembered wrong. Alright. Nissandra, Queen of Drangleic, huh? She wants us to go meet Vendrick and dispose of him? Okay. Yeah, I already kind of spoiled it a bit. In one of the episodes I probably mentioned her being the final boss, but I just did now. I'm sorry. But Nissandra. You probably could hit her with an arrow, but I don't think it does anything. There's the entrance down there. Chancellor Wellinger should be down there. We have a summon sign. Pilgrim Belclair. That little headpiece she has on, that is dropped by the Golden Lion Warrior in the Shaded Woods. That's one of the unique drops to him, is that little headpiece. What kind of... Are those Drangleic leggings? Looks like it. Okay. So we could summon her if you want, but it's the through here is the boss. Is a boss fight. It's the dual Dragon Rider boss. So there's going to be your, like the other Dragon Rider. He's a red one. He's got his halberd, his shield. There's also a second one. That one is up on a higher ledge, ground, whatever you want to call it. He's significantly weaker than the other one, like significantly less health. But he'll shoot arrows at you until you either get close to him or he gets knocked down. So the idea is to avoid the first one, the red one, who's with his sword and with his halberd and shield. Try to avoid him. Go after the one in the back. Try to get him down and just burst him down as quick as you can. You should be able to kill him in a few hits, because once you do that, the other Dragon Rider is just really easy. It's like the one in Hyde's Tower. You just gotta stay behind him, avoid his swings, and he'll go down pretty easily. But yeah, the issue is that the other one up top has arrows. I think those arrows can knock you down, which is an issue. If they don't knock you down, they will stagger you pretty heavily to open you up to attack from the other one. Yeah. So the plan is just to kind of get in there, draw the one Dragon Rider to us, avoid him, go after the other one, and then just burst him down. So that's the plan. Do I want to do anything else? That might help, but I don't think it will. That was probably better. Yeah. They don't poison. We'll use one of those. We'll get our... an old Radiant one. The shield should be okay. Alright. So yeah, this should be the dual Dragon Rider. Alright. See him up on the left. Yep. So you're not out of range, so we can actually just pop you. But you came down of your own volition. Oh, I thought I was out of range. Ow. Got knocked off the other one. Oh, really? Once he takes out his weapon, that's it. No more bow. Ah, I thought I dodged, but oh well. Alright. Get our stamina back. I did my usual thing. I accidentally sprinted when I wanted to dodge. But yeah, I hold down the dodge button a bit too long, and it registers as a sprint. Let's get our stamina back. Victory achieved. We got another Dragon Rider soul. Dual Dragon Riders. Okay, that could have been worse. I will say that could have been a lot worse. But yeah, the best bet is just to kind of avoid this guy and kill the bow guy as quickly as you can. Yep. As you saw, he didn't have a lot of health. I mean, just a few hits was enough to kill him. But yeah, but again, the red one, he'll be pressing on you the whole time, so it can get pretty hectic pretty quickly. But once you get the bow guy back here, the dark blue one down, pretty straightforward Dragon Rider fight. So individually they're not very hard, but two of them can be tricky. So we got another Dragon Rider soul, so we can now should be the same as the other ones. Yeah. Who faithfully served King Vendrick. Yeah, they're basically Vendrick's, royal guards. So we're going to actually encounter them again. There's at least one of them in the Shrine of Amana, and another one in the Undead Crypt. So, and they're kind of like, they're not bosses, but they're like tough enemies. But they don't respawn either, so kind of a little treasury room of sorts. See all the treasures. I wonder if Nishandra is still out here. She should be. Alright. Cool. I thought she disappeared after that fight, but nope. Alright. Killed the Dragon Riders. And now we have another bonfire. As well as Benhart of Jugo. So we'll talk with him real quick, and then we'll call an episode after that. But what's up, Benhart? How's it going?
Oh, well met, friend. Good to see you well. Yes, very good indeed.
Good to see you well as well.
I journeyed from the distant east to perfect my swordsmanship. And legend has it that powerful beings slumber in this land. This sword has been in my family for generations, and only a real man can wield it true. I may face any manner of man or beast, but none shall be a match for my sword.
None shall be a match for my sword, huh? Well, you might find that eventually.
This land is a right mess, eh? King's gone. The people have a mad glint in their eyes. The land itself is overrun by terrible beasts. No better place to test my sword, eh?
No better place indeed.
This land is the right king's. The land, no better.
Alright. So that's Benhart of Jugo. Yep, this is the next location after the Shaded Wood entrance. Yeah, over by where we unpetrified Rosabeth. Yeah. So he's here. We have at least one fight with him done. We need to summon him for 2 more fights. The next one, I believe, is the Looking Glass Knight. Yeah, I think that's his next summon for us anyway, so that one's going to be a bit trickier because Looking Glass Knight is a lot tougher fight than the Prowling Magus, but we should be able to do it. Yeah, as long as if you can distract the Looking Glass Knight, we can actually get some very good hits onto the Looking Glass, so it shouldn't be too bad. But all right, Benhart, see you eventually again. We can go that way, we can go that way, but that will be for another episode. Yep, gonna call it right here. we press forward into Drangleic Castle. Yep. Well, actually, no. We started off back at the execution grounds where we talked to Ditchy Grin. We bought the executioner armor set, which only becomes available once you enter Drangleic Castle. So we bought the armor set from him, and that was it. That was the last thing we needed from Ditchy Grin. And since he's a PvP covenant, we can't get his covenant rewards by the conventional means. So we'll have to. So he's no longer useful to us. At which point we killed him. Yep, we killed him mainly to get his chest piece and his weapon, but it is a cool looking chest piece. I will say that it is really cool looking. I'll eventually wear it, but I don't know when. Probably in the shrine, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so we killed Ditchy Grin, went back to Valencia just to confirm we can get his armor set, which we can, as well as his weapon. So if you kill an NPC, like for example, if we killed Benhart over here, he'll drop his usual drops. I think it's his weapon, I believe, but not his armor. You actually have to go back to Valencia in order to buy his armor, but there is another method to get his stuff. But I don't really like killing NPCs, to be honest, so we'll hold off on that. But so we did Ditchy Grin, and then we came back to Drangleic Castle, where we pressed forward. And the first thing we did is we cleared out that next room with a bunch of stone soldier statues in the middle, as well as the golem doors on either side. We slowly did door to door to door, and behind each one was a rune sentinel. I thought it was only at certain ones, but nope. They all had an enemy behind them. Lovely. So we dealt with the rune sentinels one by one, as well as the stone soldiers in the middle. Use them to activate the doors and the two golem statues in the back, just to give you some light in the room. I think if you have both golems light their torches, that's when the Bashful Ray summon sign will show up. So, so we did that. Behind one of the doors was a Ferrous Lockstone. Behind another door was the Mastodon Greatsword. I think the other door had a drop down to where we found Dark Diver Grendel. Yep, that's third encounter. Yep. And also down there was another bonfire just for him, really. As well as the Faram armor set. Is it Faram or Forza? I think it's Faram. Yeah, a Faram armor set. Yep. So, I'm trying to remember what was behind that last door. There's another chest. It had... I don't know. I don't remember, but yes. One Ferrous Lockstone, Mastodon Greatsword, there was something else, I don't remember. And it dropped down to Grendel. So we dropped down to Grendel, talked to him, joined the Pilgrims of Dark Covenant, because that was our third location we found him in. And at that point, he'll actually talk to us, allow us to join the Covenant, and he'll be a merchant. Yeah. He didn't have much to say, but the items he has for sale are like 3 effigies, 10 ascetics, which I will probably never buy or want. And he also has Cast Light, some hexes, as well as the Profound Still hex. Yeah, the hex that basically blocks spellcasting in an area around you. So, definitely gonna get that. But other than that, he's pretty lackluster. The main reason we're gonna deal with him is again for the Covenant. By ranking up in that Covenant, you have to go to each of the dark chasms, progress through it, and light the giant bonfire at the end. Yeah, it's not a bonfire in this sort. It's more like a giant bowl of oil that you light that burns. So, yeah. So you have to go through each of the little areas and do that to rank up in the Covenant. And once you hit the max rank, which is 3, then you'll be able to fight Dark Lurker. And if you beat Dark Lurker, he'll give you his chime. And it's the best chime in the game for lightning spells. So we're definitely want to grab that. So we'll definitely do that. I'm not sure when. Probably after I finish up the castle. Yeah, because once we make it to Shrine of Amana, I think I'll go back and do the Dark Chasms. Yeah, so that's probably what I'll do. But yeah. And so we did him. We also got the Abyssal Seal, which is just a ring that boosts hexes at the cost of HP per cast. Okay. And then we went back and pressed deeper into the castle. Yep. Basically just a bunch of hallways, some stairs, statues that unpetrify behind you because I'm trying to remember. We also picked up the Frozen Flower, the key item in order to access the Crown of the Ivory King DLC in the Shrine of Winter. But we'll do that probably last. Next, we'll do the base game first, and then the Crown of the Sunken King, Crown of the Burnt King, and the Crown of the Ivory King. Yeah, do that in that order. I think that's what the release order was for the DLCs. Yeah. So we'll do that. So now we have the Frozen Flower, so we can access the Ivory King DLC. Picked up a soul item, charm, radiant gems. Press forward. It was a chest with a dark arrows in them for some reason. Then we made our way outside. Yeah, I think the first thing we did outside was the little like acid pool. Yeah, so we had to run through the pool, but I knew there was going to be some swordsmen. Either they get up or they drop into the pool. So they gave us a little trouble, but luckily we were able to get out and deal with them pretty quickly. So we got back into the pool. There was a chest with corrosive urns in it. Okay, I mean, it's not really worth going through it, but did it anyway. There was another item, I don't quite remember what it was, but that was all that was in that little acid pool. And so we hopped out, spelled the little crossbow guy that was bothering us, and we pressed forward. Yep. Up some stairs. There was some more CN Knights that unpetrified themselves. And then we came upon... I'm trying to think if we did that first. I'm trying to remember what came first. I think the mask room came first. There was a room with masks on the wall and a chest in the middle. Yeah, so if you don't mess with the chest, the masks on the wall will not be active. But if you open the chest, the masks activate, and then every time you run through that room, you're going to get shot at with poison arrows. So, yeah. I don't quite remember what was in the chest. It was a Twinkling Titanite and something else. I think a Brave Warrior Soul, I think it was. So, kind of worth it. But if you leave that chest alone just to get to this bonfire here first, definitely makes sense. Definitely won't hold it against you, but I'm not going to hold anything against you. I mean, you can play this game however you want. But it might be smarter just to leave that room alone until you get like a bonfire later on. Either this one here or the one behind that fake wall out there. But I took the risk. Paid off, luckily. Then we pressed forward. Came to this big room with a big painting of Nisandra. And 3 CN Knights unpetrified themselves, cleared out the room. It was like fire great arrows, destructive great arrows, petrified dragon bone, I think a soul item. Yep. As well as the painting of Nisandra is a cursed painting. Yep. If you get too close to it, you will get cursed. You cannot break the painting. It will always be there. So it just kind of tells you that there's more to Nisandra than you think. Coupled with what Chancellor Wellinger said about her, she might be tied to the Abyss, or to the Dark at least. So yeah, but we'll learn about that later on as we get more items. As story progresses, we'll learn more about that. But yeah. So after that, we stepped out up to the stairs and then quickly ran back into the room because at that point we were invaded by the nameless usurper. Yep. A enemy wielding a bandit knife as well as the saint set. Yep, the saint set. And according to the saint set, not all of them but more than a few of these trainees liberate themselves from Linden's teachings in the process. Yep. Yes, stringent commandments, but not all saints who go out on pilgrimage adhere to the commandments. So this is one such of those. That's one such saint that did not adhere to the commandment. Yep. So. Yeah, we'll meet her again, don't worry. She invades, I know, at least in the undead crypt, maybe once or twice. I think at least once, but yeah, we'll meet her again, don't worry. Yeah, so we dealt with the usurper, back up the stairs, dealt with some swordsmen, CN knights, ladder down, another swordsman, as well as a fake wall containing a hidden bonfire. A pretty good bonfire, to be honest. Yeah, we went quite a ways without one, so nice. So, and then from there we took another ladder down to a chest containing the black bow. I think it's called the black bow. Hunter's black bow. Yes. A chest containing that bow and some iron arrows. And testing out the bow, it seemed like a pretty good bow. It seems like it drew pretty fast, so it might have a good fire rate. But so I'll check to see what it upgrades with. If it upgrades with Titanite shards, I'll definitely upgrade it and probably be our main bow going forward. Just because it has like a 60 shot range, which is nuts. It is very, very far. Yep. So got that bow, back up the ladder. Continue forward a bit, another CN knight, and then we came upon Nassandra herself, the queen herself, where she told us about how Vendrick was strong enough to be a monarch, he was more strength to fight the curse, but he never took the throne, never took the true throne. And now she said we must go to King Vendrick, and how there cannot be two rulers. Basically, she wants us to go find Vendrick and kill him. So yeah, you found yourself a good queen there, Vendrick. So we talked to her, and we came upon the Dragon Rider boss. Yep, the dual Dragon Rider. Not a terrible fight. Can get hectic pretty quickly. But if you just rush past the red one to get to the blue one in the back, and if you burst him down quick enough, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. The real problem comes when you try to get to the blue one, because he's up on the ledge. You either have to lure him off or get the red one to break the pillar he's standing on. Luckily, he dropped down on his own accord, or he fell down on his own accord anyway. But the real issue is that once he comes down and you're trying to burst him down, the red one's still running after you. So, yeah, at that point, if you didn't kill him quick enough like us, we'll have to either dodge away from the red one or just tank attacks, and it's, So, but luckily we did get the blue one down, and the red one is pretty easy after that. At that point, it's just stamina management, and, yep. So we beat the dual Dragon Riders, got another Dragon Rider soul, so we get another one of their equipment. And after that, we came here with the bonfire, talked to Benhart, and that was it. Yeah, and that was it. Oh yes, now we're in Drangleic Castle. Definitely in the castle now. Yep. And next episode will just be more of the castle. Hopefully the rest of it, but we'll see. We'll see. I know there's the Looking Glass Knight we have to fight. There's another, I think there's another fake wall around here somewhere. I think we're close by, but it might be up here. It might be up there somewhere, but yeah. But anyway, yeah. Next episode is just finishing up the castle. Yeah, 'cause usually at the end is the Looking Glass Knight, where we'll have to summon Jugo for that. Yeah, he's a summon for that. It is going to be our second summon for him, so we're definitely have to do that. It shouldn't be too bad of a fight. There is a gimmick to it, where Looking Glass Knight will summon other NPC-like phantoms in the fight, but with Benhart's help, it shouldn't be too bad. If we can just focus down the knight, it shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. But yeah, next episode, finishing up the castle. But again, that is for another episode, and I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.